The Shift is brought to you by SE Healthcare. Welcome to The Shift. I'm Dr. Andrea Coyle. Welcome back to the next episode of the Shift podcast. I'm really excited. This is a milestone episode of the podcast. I'm honored and thrilled to have Dr. Deb Zimmermann with me. In case, for those of you who do not recall, Dr. Zimmermann was the first Shifty. She kicked off the Shift podcast last year in October, and we both promised that we'd come back. Deb's going to give us an update of all the shifts that have occurred in the past year, and she's going to give an update of the continued shifting that AONL is doing. So, Deb, welcome back to the Shift podcast. It's so great to see you as always.
Oh, Andrea, it's wonderful to see you, and was honored to be your first guest, and I am honored to be back today.
I'm so glad you're here. Deb and I were just talking about traveling all over, actually, the world. Deb's been out of the country. I've been traveling. And I think I'm going to speak for you and I both, Deb, how much we love getting out and just continuing to elevate this great profession and making a difference.
You know, I was reflecting on my last 2 years because in a couple of months my term will end as president of AONL. And I was just thinking this weekend about all the wonderful chapters that I've had the opportunity to visit. And it is exciting to see the rejuvenation in the profession, the excitement, and the changes that have taken place where nurses truly are stepping up, stepping out, and much more present and at tables where decisions are being made and really serving as leaders as the country continues to change from a healthcare perspective.
I love all that. And it's so true. And I love that you said present. Nurses are more present now than we've ever been. And we need to just continue to have nurses to be present. And that's one of the things I think we talked about in the very beginning. And I really want to thank you and Bonnie Barnes. Some people may not know this, but Deb and Bonnie and I had discussions before we even launched the Shift. And our whole purpose of the Shift was to always shine the light and talk about all the things that are right and all the things that are great in nursing. And that's going to be a great segue into Deb. Tell us the last year, what's gone on, what's changed, what's shifted, what's been elevated at AONL.
Yes, thank you so much. And, we talked about this last time. As a profession grounded in sciences, we focus on the negative, and we need to, particularly from a nursing leadership perspective, remind ourselves what a privilege it is to serve in this profession and really reflect on the great work that is accomplished every day in every encounter that nurses have with patients, families, and their community. So as I reflect on my presidency, I have seen incredible change. 2 years ago, we were still in recovery from the pandemic. Nurses were tired, somewhat disillusioned in the profession. And what I am seeing now is um, nurses stepping up, serving as conveners, setting new. What we are seeing is the collaboration of nurses in the design of new models of care, understanding of the role of the nurse manager in playing with esprit de corps, in driving organizational excellence and recognition of the support that they need, recognition that there is nothing about me without me, meaning that all decisions that involve nurses have to include nurses, meaning when new technology comes in, we as nurses need to be at the table, build our confidence in the decision making, and really move forward. So I have seen advances in technology. I have seen nurses stepping up and stepping out and really driving those changes, serving as innovators in the new models of care, measuring their effectiveness, and really playing a larger part in serving their community and continuing to raise and voice where the challenges continue to exist. Obviously some of them are with workplace violence, incivility, and bullying. They are things that we, from a nursing perspective, have to own. And I am seeing that nursing is coming together. I have seen when we work separately, we work in silos. And it is confusing to the public, to our legislators. And over the last 2 years, I have seen nursing come together. Nursing is working together with the different professional nursing associations on bullying and workplace violence. We also are working together on a new national campaign that really highlights the incredible work that is accomplished each and every day and strengthening the relationship between the public and the profession. And in fact, Peter Bierhaus is serving as a leader. For many of you, you may remember that Peter Bierhaus, a nurse economist, really projected and forecasted an incredible nursing shortage 25 years ago. He joined forces with Johnson & Johnson, and what they were able to do is bring to the attention of the public the great work of nursing, which then inspired many to choose nursing as a profession. And that impact lasted for 25 years. We are now saying it is time to really bring awareness to the public about the great work of nursing. And we are seeing academia and practice, professional organizations, and even industry partners all coming together for 2.0 campaign. So that's what's coming up in the future. But in between, it's really been a glorious 2 years, and I have been humbled and honored to truly serve in this role.
Well, you've done such a great job, and I love that we continue just to bring nurses together and strengthen our profession. And two things you mentioned, changing our models of care,
Mhm.
and really dedicating and intentionally focusing on our nurse managers. Our nurse managers play a very challenging yet rewarding role in the healthcare system. I say this sometimes, some organizations, nurse managers have a tremendous span of control. I know a lot of organizations have done a lot of great work around that. Some of my other shifties that come on the shift, I'm pretty sure it was Midland Hospital, Dr. Kit Bredemis out of Texas. Their organization's done a really great job focusing on nurse managers, as has Arkansas with Dr. Jamie Wiggins. So there's a lot of great work going on to help elevate, coach, build, and most importantly, reward and recognize our nurse managers. When I do this presentation all over the country, I hear, and I speak to people all over the country, I do hear a lot of organizations now are being intentional about how they reward and recognize nurse managers. And I'm wondering if you have anything to add on AONL's work as it relates to the nurse manager space.
Oh, thank you for asking, Andrea. In fact, yes, 2 years ago, we began with Beyond Gratitude, a tribute to nurse managers, really to highlight the need. And then AONL has really looked at the role of the nurse manager, highlighted and really come up with recommendations. Nurse managers, there are toolkits on the AONL website, and we have highlighted organizations like those that you've mentioned on how, when we redesign the work with nurse managers, it has a great impact on those on the front line and organizational performance. So there's toolkits on that website, and what we've done is actually gone back. We've done there's a compendium on the website. We've done 2.0. We did 2 years ago, or during the pandemic. We originally highlighted some of the great work and then went back to those organizations and said, okay, is it still working? And would you publish on that? So we've been able to publish some of that work. We've been able to really show that when nurse managers have the supports in place, when they have the technology, resources that they need, and they're able to spend time coaching, spending time on quality. When they're able to spend time on really working with their teams, they're able to really make a difference. And that's really where nurse leaders find their joy and able to help teams accomplish more than they thought possible. And just like nurses, our joy on the front lines is really being able to build trust, to be able to make a difference in the lives of those that we serve. And it really is more than just the technical side of that clinical care. It really is that interprofessional or interpersonal time that we're really able to spend and really help our patients' families really with the challenges that they're facing and really to raise up their health.
Thank you so much for all of that. Anything you'd like to add about the model of care and some of the shifts that we've seen? I know that we talked about that the first time you came on the podcast. Any updates or anything that you're like, man, I have to share this with the shifties?
Well, what's so exciting is that new models of care are beginning to show outcomes related to reduction in morbidity and mortality, reductions in readmissions, reductions in length of stay, reductions in use of emergency departments versus
Hmm.
primary care. And what we're seeing is that when nurses from the front line have the ability to articulate what that new model of care looks like and how to redefine it, it is magical and really works because the communities across the United States are very different. So there is not just one model of care that works. It's when nurses are working with their leaders and their communities in order to meet the needs of those community members. That's the model of care that really works for the nurses and for the community.
Thank you. And Deb, just for the shifties, can you walk us through the leadership shifts that are going to happen with AONL and they've already happened?
Well, it when I finished my term in December, uh, Ina Williams, who is the senior vice president at Yale, will assume her role as president of the American Organization for Nursing Leadership. For the past 2 years, she has served as the president-elect. She's done wonderful work with our chapters and affiliates, and her passion is about equity and access to healthcare. And she is a dynamo and will absolutely do a wonderful job as our president. And elections were just completed just a couple of weeks ago, and Stuart Downs will soon be assuming the president-elect role at AONL. So we have an incredible a new leadership team who I am very confident will be making a huge difference in how and in providing support and education and just moving nursing forward and ensuring that we have that seat at the table. And of course, Claire Zangerly is the CEO who's
Yes.
now almost a year into her role and really just a real dynamo. So AONL is positioned, it has it serves as a convener. It really has developed great collaborative relationships with all of the other nursing professional associations, as well as all of those who are interested in healthcare as and industry partners. So I think overall there's still a lot of work to be done. We know that, our eyes are opened, but nursing is well positioned. And if we continue to step up and out,
The sky's
really
the
different.
limit.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
The sky is the limit. And I just, I really love this medium, this podcast, to have discussions with great thought leaders like yourself and so many others that have come on the podcast. And our podcast is weekly. So that just tells you in itself that we have so much to talk about, but we're not just talking about it. We are inspiring action every single day. And I love that we can inspire action, we can fuel perseverance, we can empower possibilities, and we can pretty much do it all, Deb.
Yep. Totally agree with you.
So we're going to end this episode. I'm going to say, Deb, thank you so much for all your leadership. Thank you for, just being such a great role model for me and so many others. I'm always thrilled. I'm going to have you come back on the podcast. I want to let the shifties to know this. Deb's a one-hit wonder. We get on this podcast. Nothing is scripted. Deb really doesn't even know what we're going to talk about. And we just start riffing, and it's magical. It's energizing. And so I'd love to have you come back on the podcast. Give us one strong takeaway that you think our shifties cannot live without hearing.
We have had an incredible shared journey. There are nurses with incredible expertise and compassion. I trust that the next chapter will be written by nurses and nurse leaders who claim their rightful seat at the table, who will guide our nation through change and shape a future where nurses thrive and the health of our communities truly flourish. It will take confidence. It will take risk-taking. It will take stepping up and stepping out. Don't be afraid. You have that expertise. You have the knowledge, and you have the fortitude to make it happen.
Okay, Deb, that was a mic dropper. I typically chime in and add something. I'm not going to add anything. And I am blown away that you said hope. Deb, I was getting ready to share this with you, and we'll probably talk about it a little later. I'm working on this presentation, and it's all about hope-led leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually went through a couple of the principles. Hope inspires action. Hope fuels perseverance. Hope empowers possibilities. And there's different silos of hope. So I'm so glad that you brought up the word hope. Thank you so much for always joining me. And shifties, remember, your shift makes a difference. Keep shifting. Enjoying the shift? Help us reach more nurse leaders by rating and reviewing us on your podcast app. It takes just a minute, but makes a big impact. Search for The Shift, tap those stars, and share what you love. Your feedback shapes our future episodes and helps others discover us. Remember, rate, review, and amplify The Shift today.